Let's get into episode 3 of Next Gen NYC. This is more Tara. Be sure to subscribe. I love this episode. This was a 10 out of 10 because they talked about family and they also talked about race. This episode might be their top episode of the season. Now, Brooks. I like Brooks just for the simple fact of he's only the star of the show because he's friends with everybody. But baby, that storyline, his storyline got to change up a little bit because we meet his father, and what I must say, I love that Brooks have a supportive father. Me being someone that is friends with people that's inside of the rainbow community, a lot of them don't have parents that is that supportive. So for him to have a dad that's asking him questions about body count, does your boyfriend play go like that right there, I just love that for Brooks, and I love that that also gives him an opportunity to be even more open of who he is. I truly love that, and I got to give his father 10 out of 10 for that. But he has a boyfriend. We don't care about that. He keep bringing up this Chloe and Charlie situation, and this is why I say, baby, that storyline got to change a little bit. You need something more to give to the show other than you having problems with Charlie because Charlie wanted to f your sister. Chloe said she had a good time. I understand that he had the situation with his dad because he don't know what to do, but you're not telling Chloe what the text message is because his father asked them. Now she's grown. She's a grown woman. And I understand, that's your friend and that's your sister. But at the end of the day, you didn't even tell her what the text message is, and you're going to everybody else about the situation besides your sister. You went to Charlie about it. Charlie talked to you about it. Charlie keeps going on about it. You know Charlie. Charlie, that's your friend. He was drunk when he said it. I get it. I understand. And I'm not even vouching for Charlie. But at the same time, Brooks, you got to let it go because, baby, it's episode 3. This storyline, it's not hitting no more. I'm sorry, but you gotta change it up a little bit. But then he gets around Riley and stuff because I guess to add to his storyline, he has a clothing brand and he wants to expand it a little bit more. But when him and Riley are around each other, and also with Shy, we need to get a little bit more into his thing too. But they talk about Georgia's event. Now, at the beginning of the episode, Georgia sent out the text message to everybody that she's having like an art event or something. Production didn't even put it in the show. They put it in like the production scenes, when like it's a little black, white, and gray. That's what they did. Georgia was drunk off her high knee. But also, this goes into da 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 Charlie. Now, Charlie has a conversation with Ari and Hudson, and basically they squashed the beef. I love that they did that because he say, she say, they feel away, we gonna get over it. I love that they squashed the beef because it wasn't that deep. Charlie was really just being there for his friend Georgia, but then it turned into a different route. And Hudson was doing what he was supposed to do of being that man to his woman and standing up for her and anybody else. But since we're on Charlie, baby, Charlie makes sense. I say I like Charlie, but I also say Charlie is a douchebag. But I like Charlie for the simple fact Charlie brings something to the show besides his douchebag ways. Charlie got mommy and daddy problems. I thought he just had daddy problems. No, he got mommy problems too. Now he opens up a little bit that it got to a point that his mom was just like, I can't do it, and his dad ended up getting full custody. Now he has problems. He don't have problems with his mother now, but you can see, we watch the show, we see how Charlie is. He a little up and down type of person. And we get that with his father because he said his father's arrogant and everything. He even said, like, even after this episode airs, like, I might get cut off. Like, that just goes to show, like, he not, how can I say this? He not the star child of the family, but he's the one that's probably got in the most trouble. So the attention was on him a lot. But I don't want to say it, but it's like he the disappointment of the family, but they try to hide that he's the disappointment of the family. That's really what it gives, but he's not the disappointment of the family. But I feel like with his dad kind of makes him feel that way. Then when it goes to his mom, she really wasn't around, and he just needs a mother love. He needs a hug, like only from born to 10, and then he was with his father after that. Like, he was missing a mother's love, and a lot of things aren't making sense on how we see Charlie on the show and who he maybe be in person. But like I said, I like Charlie because Charlie brings something to the show. Ain't nobody else bringing nothing to the show besides Mira, Ari, and Hudson. And their storyline right now is the fact that they just moved to New York. Mira is that girl. Mira wasn't even in this episode because she probably out making money. But Charlie brings his douchebag ways, and he also gives a little bit of him because this is reality TV, and this is why I like Charlie. But then, oh baby, Charlie and Riley end up getting into it. And they get into it just for the simple fact at George's event, Charlie just felt like Riley was a little bit rude to the other woman that was there. But he kind of spent it as he was mocking the way Riley said it. He added a little bit, I'm black. He added a little bit of black into it when he was displaying how she was. Now, that upsetted Riley. That upsetted Riley to the point, and she was standing for herself like, y'all not about to sit here and point me to be out as this rude, nasty black girl. And this is what I feel. Riley, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but Riley, baby, it might be time for you to get a new group of friends. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. If you don't, you don't. You're not going to get it because you ain't the same color as us. But, girl, I'm sorry, but what Riley said to Ava, like, Ava, you gotta stand up too and let them know I'm black, and as a black woman, I get where she's coming from. Don't just be like, no, I get it. She has a point. Riley was basically telling her, like, we may be different because you have this and you have this, but I'm Southern. I'm collard greens, cornbread, and yams. They might not understand it coming from you, but from me, I'm gonna be loud and proud because that girl called her mama. Riley called Miss Candy, and I love that she did that because just being in a setting, and this is not even to be on that type of level, just being in that setting, and you are the tall one, the big boned one. I'm not big boned, but you being who you are, you being a strong black woman around a group of whoop-de-woo type of people. One thing that Riley needs to understand, your mother is Candy. Some of these people here, baby, them things is handed to them. Your mother worked for that with her group, with TV, this, that, and the third. Some people was handed this, some people made it. And at the end of the day, Riley, it's just time for you to get a new group of friends because Charlie only apologized to her, but then said he didn't really mean it. He only apologized just to get the conversation over. Now, I must pause. I kind of get that. Not in the situation, but like in general, like if I want to talk to more, like bro, I'm sorry, let's get it over with. I don't really mean it. But at the same time, it was wrong because apparently they seem like they're actually friends, but listening to Candy's voice on that phone call, Candy basically is like, we done had this conversation 1,000 times about this little boy. That's what I was getting from Candy's energy on the phone. Throughout it all, the situation, I'm on Riley's side because it's the way how you're mocking me. And this is not the first time that this group has tried to pin me to be this big, scary black woman. I get Riley. I understand Riley. And I'm not just understanding Riley because I am a black woman too. But if I'm the only black person inside of the group, yeah, and y'all said it literally what a week ago, and I don't think Riley came off as rude or nasty, something like that. Like I'm like that too. If you gonna come around, baby girl, introduce yourself. All around, this episode was good. We finally got a little bit more of Gia. I wish that it was a little bit more than what we seen other than her hosting a pool party because this is where all the drama took place at. And then I give it to Georgia a little bit because Georgia had an event. They didn't put it inside the show, but it was there. Riley for standing up for herself. Charlie for actually giving a story. And Brooks because Brooks just get more camera time than basically everybody else. And I will say Mira needs to be back the next episode. And this is more Tara, and I watch almost everything.